Okay, guys, I am going to talk about something briefly, and I am Jess, and we are talking books, and Mercury has joined us if you hear the jingle jangle because it is almost 5 o'clock in the morning, and this has been on my mind for a couple days. So, as you know, in the past I've talked about using Audible. I recently stopped using it because I realized that the books that were in the Plus library, or whatever they call it over here in Germany, was not really what I wanted to read so much. There was something to say there was anything wrong with them. It's just I found that my taste had evolved a little bit from it. And so I went to Kindle Unlimited, which is a whole nother ball of worms because trying to find audiobooks on that platform is insane when you're in Germany because you can't really find that many English titles. It's a complicated thing anyway. I have recently let go of it, but I've also recently found, according to Daniel Greene and Jen from the Book Refuge, and I will have all those links below, as well as a few other places, Audible has changed their pay structure recently, and I don't agree with it. So I kind of want to let you guys know what's going on. Basically, at one point you could buy a book with a credit, and then you would also get access to the Plus catalog, which is like free audiobooks for you to listen to. But basically, you would get a free credit, which would get you an audiobook. I used to use those because they were like $9.99 here. And for me personally, that was affordable for certain audiobooks. I couldn't find them anywhere else. In case in point, for a decent price, I got Countess by Suzanne somebody. I'll put the picture up, and I loved it, but I couldn't really find it anywhere else for the same price. And I wanted to pay a smaller amount because it's just a 4-hour audiobook. I think it's like 160 pages or something. It's one of the, I want to say Tor.com short novellas. So I couldn't really afford it otherwise. I couldn't afford to pay, like $15, $16. I can't. So I kept it in my back pocket and I bought it. I've also bought things like, books about queer representation in Palestine that I would like to get to, stuff like that. I always have some books on deck. And I got them through Audible, and I'm really grateful for that. However, the new pay structure it has, when you buy a book from your credit, the money that you are going to be paying does not go directly to the author. Instead, if you listen to the catalog, any book, say you listen to 4, 5, 6 books, you will end up paying out of the pocket of the credit. And Audible is saying that that's what you want. And hell no, that's not what I want. I want you guys to pay out of your own pockets because you're the billion-dollar company, not the authors who are receiving like a fraction of the cost. Because I think that I think it was like 75% of an audiobook price goes to Amazon, and then it kind of filters down. Either way, it's like no money, which is also why I stopped doing it. If you're in the US and you want audiobooks, I highly recommend Chirp. They're constantly running sales, and you can get some pretty recent titles for some good money. The logic defies what I'm seeing, and I'm going to link to Daniel Greene because Daniel's got a ton of information. I watched a lot of it. I had to take breaks because I don't math very well. I'll be honest, like my brain just doesn't process math equations and all that. And also the fact that like there's not a lot of information coming from Audible to anyone. I know that he said like Brandon Sanderson on there. I'm not a Brandon Sanderson fan, or so I know nothing about that part. I do know that like it's a very important thing, right? Because of the whole project that was going on last year, the secret project last year, year before last, whatever. So I don't really know how to talk about this without being disappointed in Amazon, and that's taking a lot because disappointment with Amazon is kind of like a regular feeling for a lot of us that read. But this is just such a disgusting display of using your base to pay royalties to someone else. And the thing is this is not something that, the users have knowledge of, the users being like, customers like me, but also a lot of the people that put their books in the system did not sign up for this, and now they're forced to do it. And I find that so disgusting. I don't really know how to put anything here. As you can see, my cat is wide awake at almost 5 o'clock, hence why I'm still awake. The fact that they are robbing people of their money, and that's exactly what it is, it's robbing, to keep a dominant stake in audiobooks. And many of us have to have audiobooks. Like, I don't know about the rest of you, but for me, when I'm on the go or when I can't concentrate, when my daughter is sleeping, there are times where I need an audiobook because it's the only way I can consume something. To take advantage of that is disgusting to me. It's just absolutely, I don't even know how to say it, but it makes me grr, And so I want to post about this right quick. This is mostly my reaction to it, but like I said, there's a whole lot of information. Jen and Daniel have really dug into it, as well as a few other people, which they will mention. I just don't know who they are, so I can't really vet the process there. But we need to be talking about it. And honestly, considering the authors did not sign up for this, for most of them, and they're being forced to do this, I have to say that I'm okay with letting go of Audible. I know it already canceled my subscription, but I could have easily just picked it back up. There's always a sale. There's always a deal. And for me, it's really an affordable way to get what I need. But I can't support it because I can't support paying someone else's profit for another person's money and then putting the authors, pitting them against each other, basically trying to get their money because Amazon doesn't want to do what they were promised at Sanderson, and instead are trying to figure out a way of creating a system that forces people to use Kindle or to use Audible in order to maintain their own profits. And to say that it's a special group right now is great, but with them also adding AI, I forgot to mention this, they're adding AI voice as well to many of the people that have books that don't have audiobooks up. They're making it very vastly easy. It also means it's going to be a flooded market with fake voices trained on other people's voices, the same voice actors that we listen to when we listen to audiobooks. So and the narrators, and I want to make this very clear that I'm not okay with that either. I'm not okay with stealing from one person to pay for another person, period, end of story. So I'm hoping that you will sign the petition that I will link to, and you will understand that there's a very real value in understanding that sometimes bad companies can be even worse than we even imagined. Okay, guys, thanks for listening, and I will link to a bunch of videos below. Cheers, guys.